New for 96. With your hosts, Kevin McCauley and Chris Nguyen.
We started recording twice now on accident through the laptop microphone.
Yeah, I'll never get that 2 hours back.
Nope. Gone forever, much like your youth.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me.
Well, you're reminded every time you look in the mirror.
God.
That's right.
Why do we do this?
I don't know. Yeah. You didn't even comment on my new footwear.
I saw it. I chose not to comment. Imagine a felt-made Crocs.
These are not Crocs. They are slippers.
Yeah.
And they blend into my socks. Mm-hmm. They match, which is why I have them. It's also very cold. It is -7 degrees outside here in Houston, Texas. Mm-hmm. It is actually 48. But
is it 48?
Yeah, I think it's 48.
Wow.
Yeah. That's pretty cold. It might as well be -7. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we're here in the renovated New for 96 studios, which is to say there are 3 new chairs in here. Kevin, what are you sitting in? You should know by now. I talk about
It's an aluminum group.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I actually cannot believe you got that.
They were in here last time we recorded.
No.
These were in here.
No.
I didn't sit on it, but these were in here.
No.
I promise.
Wait, was George?
No. We recorded after that.
Oh,
we
right.
recorded one.
Wait, you're right. God damn it. Okay.
We shouldn't talk about the show on the show.
Because we haven't aired it yet, so...
That's why.
I forgot. Yeah. Well, they're not going to hear this one first.
They might if I choose to release this one first.
No, it can't be asynchronous.
It's all... We're off the rails at this point.
Oh, my God. And Kevin refused to sit in the La Fonda chair where once there was a Eames Shell chair. So this is an Eames aluminum group that you're sitting in. Is it good? Is it comfy?
It's good.
Good talking chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good for talking.
Yeah. You didn't like
chair.
the Time Life chairs.
No.
Which, I mean, it's bathed in history and you didn't appreciate that one bit while sitting in it.
I didn't like my alignment with the microphone, but I also don't really like them in your living room.
Look, they were good enough for the lobby of the Time Life building in New York City, so they're good enough for New for 96. We should have used that as the intro, but...
It's not too late. The intro to what?
To our podcast, which is called New for 96 Catch Up. We're not saying that again.
I wasn't sure how long we were going to drag that out.
Oh, God.
The viewers are wondering that too.
Yeah, no kidding. Welcome to another episode. I'm Chris Nguyen. You're...
Kevin McCauley.
Yeah, I realized that we never actually introduced ourselves.
That's why we recorded that thing, so we don't have to.
I forgot.
Remember?
We have an actual intro.
We have an intro.
Yeah, that's my voice. That very few people know that, but that's actually
very few people have heard it.
Yeah.
It's your voice like pitched down into a Bill McNeil.
Yeah, which no one will get until later because we have a reference to talk about. But
can we do it right now?
Do we want to do it right now?
Yeah,
Our
I put this at the top. I put this at the top, but it was my birthday last week.
We have a celebrity endorsement.
And Christopher was so nice as to surprise me with a cameo recording from Dave Foley of News Radio.
And Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall.
And currently of Will and Grace.
Currently, really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, we're just going to play it in full right now.
Okay.
Hey there, Kevin. Dave Foley here, by the way, just in case. But I understand you have a birthday coming up. Well, Chris told me. It's not something that I'm just aware of magically. But in fact, Chris tells me that you have a birthday coming up and that you guys are News Radio fans. In fact, you were just rewatching some News Radio and that you discussed an episode of News Radio on your podcast, New for 96. The episode in which it was Jimmy James. Gives everyone in the office a brand new Miata as a present. And interesting story is that just a couple of years earlier than that, when we were doing the Kids in the Hall show, Lorne Michaels, our boss, wanted to buy all of the Kids in the Hall brand new Miatas. He was going to buy us like 5 Miatas and give them to us as a gift, a bonus for a job well done. Yeah, he said. But the Kids in the Hall not being very politically adept, we all said we'd rather not have Miatas, but could we have the cash? So we never did get those Miatas, which was a shame. But it was a nice gesture that we totally did not take advantage of. So there's a little trivia for you regarding Miatas. But anyway, I want to wish you a very happy birthday and hope it's a wonderful one. I don't know which one it is. It's hard to tell from... I'm assuming you're doing a podcast about cars new for 96. I'm going to assume you think that's a nostalgic time. So you're probably young. I'm going to go with young. You're probably quite young. All right. Happy birthday, youngster.
Like, that was a much more generous message than I was expecting. I thought he was just going to say, hey, happy birthday, kiddo, and then, like, sign off.
Krusty the Clown.
Yeah. But he actually, like, relayed, like, a personal story.
I know. I never knew. I'm a huge news radio fan. I've read all the, like, trivia, that everything I could get my hands on, and I had never heard that story that the Miata's episode, the origin is... Lorne Michaels and Kids in the Hall, so that was very cool. But he was cool. It was just very nice and awesome. We're gonna put that on the Instagram as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I sat on that since like June. I think
that's amazing. No, it was so cool. I was so excited.
I wasn't sure if we were still gonna be friends at that point. So
we weathered the storm despite this.
I know. So yeah, that's our first. Celebrity
endorsement,
endorsement, non-endorsement of the show. I hope he listens to it. It was really funny that he thought that we might be extremely young, although maybe he thinks that people in their like mid to late 30s are
it could be
youngins. But I like that. That's just. I mean, I guess like if you're in your 20s and if you're gonna guess like what would be an olden time. The golden era, 96 seems to be, would ring that bell.
Yeah, my mom was alive then.
Yeah. What were your parents driving in 96?
It was actually a good garage at the time, except both of our cars were black. But my dad had his 530i BMW 95.
Yeah, the 3-liter V8.
3-liter V8, and which this would have been right before the engine was replaced. The block was replaced under warranty.
Yep.
And my mom had also 95 Jeep Grand Cherokee.
Wow.
The 4-liter.
Okay.
And we had a lot of problems with that.
Yeah.
But it was the first car I learned to drive on both those cars.
The venerable inline 6 that everyone wants, but I guess it isn't a trouble-free engine.
No, the engine was good.
Yeah.
I think we had problems with some accessories, and we had problems with like drivetrain stuff, like CV joints and stuff like that.
Really? I guess like down the line, not in 95.
Not in 95, but like by like 98 or 9.
Okay.
So it was like 3 or 4 years old at this point.
Yeah. I liked that gen. I like the early ones.
Wait, in 96, actually, I think my mom still would have had her Buick Century wagon.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. Because she got the Jeep Grand Cherokee in like 98, and it was a 95.
Oh, okay.
So then we started, and she only had it for a couple years.
Yeah, because it kept breaking.
Yeah.
So essentially, it started to break down as soon as she got it.
Yes. Everyone said it was because it was 4-wheel drive, and we never used 4-wheel drive, and so the other stuff, if you don't use it, you lose it, I guess. I
suppose. Well, fine. In 95, my dad had a 95 850 turbo.
Mm-hmm.
And BMW. And my mom still had her...
It's Volvo.
What's that?
It was a Volvo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I said BMW because I was imagining a cool car called an 850.
No. Well, that is a cool car. And it was a teal... I don't remember the factory color, but it was a teal 850 turbo.
Okay.
No spoiler, but with which is good because spoilers on that boxy body look so weird.
Yeah.
But people opted for that, and the Cuisinart wheels, which were very good.
You should Post a picture of this to the Instagram because I have no
Yeah.
idea. I can't I have such face blindness for
What?
Volvos.
They're like the wheels on the 355. Like they are kind of like blades. Do you know what I mean?
The 348 wheels.
348.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like blade, like canted blades.
Sure.
And my mom had at the time also a Volvo, a 740. And at the time it was actually pretty long in the tooth. It was 85. It was an 85 Volvo 740 GLE.
Ooh.
And they replaced it with an ES300. The gen that I like, some magazine had called it. I guess my parents were both engineers. They got engineering magazines, and for some reason, like Engineering Today or something did a cover article on the 97 ES300 as being the most reliable car ever built. And I don't know why that was, but there you go. So
There we go.
Exciting banter. Kevin is taking so long to respond because he's pouring himself another drink from the bar.
Just be thankful I didn't make a hand motion like a baby reaching for a bottle.
Now
once
you're
again.
sitting next
I'm
to the
sitting next
bar,
to you.
this is
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. You gave me a look of such disdain at the thought of me sitting in that chair that I'm looking at. You were like, you can go right ahead. You can sit in. And your eyes said, do not sit in that chair.
Dare you to sit in all of my chairs. And you've only on occasion taken up that challenge. So you've chosen to only sit in the ones most sturdy, which is funny that you're sitting in this one.
What? Is this not a sturdy chair?
That's fine. It's fine.
You're trying to make it seem like I'm a giant oaf person lumbering around in your
You are known
house.
as the local oaf. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Bill Oakley. So, you know Bill Oakley from The Simpsons?
No.
He wrote Steamed Hams.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
So he like on Twitter and he wrote some article about, I don't know, he wrote some article, a political article, but he had a reference. I saw him tweet. I just saw this fly by today. He tweeted, he's like, it was in the Washington Post. And he's like, I managed to get a reference into local oaf, of course, referring to, quote, Two Bad Neighbors, the Simpsons episode.
Yeah. Mikhail Gorbachev said,
Gorbachev, what are you doing here?
I just dropped by with present for warming of house. Instead, find you grappling with local off.
I don't know why that's so funny.
It's so funny. I think of that pejorative, I guess, as like
Yeah.
I just think that is so hilarious.
I think that's where I got local buffoon from as well,
Oh,
because it was like a news article, a printed news article that says local buffoon ruins everything, and
if
it's
it's
Homer
the
like,
Onion, it's not news.
oh yeah. Anyways, what is this new for 96? Which is actually a Simpsons reference as well.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
new sponges for 96.
Sponge and vacuum.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're steeped in Simpsons.
We really are, which means everyone's dropped off because
Yep, because
no one gets our Simpsons references.
no, and if we have to qualify it. We haven't watched The Simpsons since. Well, I'll extend it to season 10 at least, season 12 maybe even.
Yeah.
But everyone should stop watching it. Season 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I have been texting furiously the last several weeks for
they're
various reasons.
Yeah. Mostly because we're not speaking.
Yeah. And well, I was going to do another Simpsons reference by saying that you're supposed to paint my chicken coop.
Paint my chicken coop. Never.
You're supposed to say that cornbread was stale or something.
Oh, I don't remember. Anyway, okay, we're cutting that out for
so
sure.
I may be selling the E91 wagon, the rear-wheel drive.
Hang on, let me stop you right there.
Yes.
This is just, I'm just continuing a trend because I've cut you off the last 3
Fine.
episodes from talking about this.
Just do it.
Carry on.
Excellent. Was that it?
That was it. That was it.
Okay, excellent.
You've been trying to bring this up for like weeks and weeks.
Have I?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
So yes, I might be selling the wagon, which is my daily driver now.
But why, you ask? This is the car that you wanted for forever. And even like when I first met you, you would tell me, you'd be like, once I almost bought an E91 wagon that was manual and rear wheel drive, and it was the one that got away.
It was the one that got away. Yeah.
And it said you had to settle for your E90 330 sedan, which is what you had when I met you.
Yeah.
And now you have the car of your dreams.
4 years. It was not the car of my dreams. It was just like the car that I had
the it car.
always wanted to buy because it seemed like everything I needed. And here's the thing: is that it was everything I needed 4 years ago.
Do the viewers
5 years ago?
Do they know what this car is?
So I don't know the viewers. Yeah. So it's a 2011 BMW 328i rear-wheel drive manual wagon, and we probably discussed this when I bought it like a year plus ago. It's one of like 427 in this configuration that was ever bought or ever made or imported to the United States because they're all over Europe. And it is the ultimate like enthusiast normal car. Like, because it's a wagon, it's rear-wheel drive and it's manual, and it has an inline six. And it's an excellent car, but it is extremely like I'm gonna regret selling it. But as we were talking, and I'm actually even thinking about like the problem is it's low mileage. It's like the perfect bring a trailer kind of combination, low mileage, all records, and I don't value it enough like at what it might be worth selling it, like, because if this were an automatic X drive with a few more miles on it, it's probably worth half as much. So, and honestly, if I just wanted like a daily beater of sorts, I'd be happy with like an X drive. Manual would be great, but I'd settle for an auto. So I'm gonna sell this one, and I'm not planning on getting another wagon, although that might be in the card because I'm finding that they're actually really cheap. Auto, even manual ones. But basically, if it's not rear-wheel drive and manual, then it doesn't have it's worth exactly what a 9-year-old BMW would be worth. So the last few weeks.
So why do you want to sell it? I mean, you hinted that it's not of value to you.
Yeah.
Like what the market sees it as.
Yeah.
I think as an observer, it would be, well, excuse me, as an observer who was along the journey of this car, it would be cool if you like made money on a car. I always hear about people doing this. I've never lost tons of money.
Because I will continue to put money into the car, and it isn't like not because it's unreliable, but you know, just general maintenance, like making it better. And like it doesn't give me enough like feeling, like enthusiasm to want to keep putting money into it. And if I'm going to keep putting money into a car, I want to get a car that putting money into it will bring like joy back to me. So I want to get another fast car, and that's just it. Like, it's fine. It is a great car. Like it is the perfect normal car. If you had to get a very normal car, like, this is it. It is balanced. It drives well, handles well. Like, it's the last BMW 3 Series with with hydraulic power steering, and you know, it's
also the last 3 Series that wasn't turbocharged.
True. Yeah. This is the last of the inline sixes for the 3 Series that's naturally aspirated. So, and I had plans for this. I was going to convert it into a 330i, et cetera, et cetera. But
you're gonna do like more sport upgrades, sport package stuff.
Yeah. I was going to convert it essentially to a sport package with suspension and et cetera. But again, that's so much money, putting so much money into a car that even then I don't think that I would like. It's not the car that I'm looking for at this point in my life. So I had been looking for 997s and have been kind of disillusioned right now because the market is in this weird place where either everything's really cheap and crappy or everything's overpriced. So I'm going to put that on hiatus, and I think I might go for an E46 M3.
Those are good cars. So
they're good cars.
The role that this car would play is it would accompany you on your approximately eighth of a mile commute.
Yes.
And you'd use it every day and park it outside.
Yep.
And
it would be a daily driver.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would use it like I use the wagon now. And that's the thing, is that I don't even use the wagon as a wagon. So I might as well just kind of hone in on like what I want, like what I actually enjoy in a daily driver. And I want something just slightly more aggressive, a bit faster. And like the suspension is it is set to maximum comfort in the 328i, and it's too soft for me. Like even in our like shit roads here, like I want to feel like the road a little bit, not necessarily the potholes, but it's just like it doesn't buzz enough for me. It doesn't like make enough noise for me. So yeah, I've been looking at E46 M3s for the last couple of weeks, a little more actually, and I've been talking to a few potential sellers. And the E46 market is such a weird market because it goes from like bargain basement $10,000 ones to like pristine $30,000 ones, and everything in between is valued so differently.
Yeah, but I mean overall the market, except for like the crap with like 200,000 miles and a bunch of mods, like the market has moved up.
The market moved up surprisingly,
in the past, for the last like 5 years, you could get an M3 for 15, you could get a good one for 15 grand, like I think, and it's. Yeah, I think it's moved on. Like it's moved on. The market recognizes good ones that are like even if they have some miles, but are like good maintenance and everything. It's like just like any bumping up on
any German
20 plus.
car. Yeah, any German car. It's the same thing. Just like it's just all the maintenance, and of course, like because it's performance oriented for whatever reason, that means that it comes down to maybe a tolerance thing. Like they build it to. Very close tolerances, but there are catastrophic failure points, of course. Like in the early ones, there's like rod bearing failures, subframe issues are a thing. So like moving from the Porsche world to this, there are like things to like watch out for, and it's not something that like turns me off of it in the same way that IMS doesn't necessarily turn me off of Porsches either, but but it's really hard finding one with like these things either taken care of, because a lot of people are much like IMS. Like people will, instead of getting the like IMS bearing upgrade, they'll just say keeping an eye on it. Like what does that mean? Like you're waiting for it to fail. Finding the right one, and E46s are a little bit harder because they're all modified. Like I'm gonna like throw an unscientific number out there, and I think like 75% of them are modified.
It is crazy how many people put eBay angel eyes on the headlights, black grills. Coilovers are common.
Coilovers, like bad wheels, like and then like
not all of those are deal breakers, but you don't want a project that you have to fix.
I want something off the shelf this time. I don't want to have to do anything to it, and. So we'll see. And I'm not looking for a forever car either. Like, I think I'm going to get this. I'm going to try it out because I've never owned an E46. And I drove my first E46 M3 the other day on a test drive. And like, I like it. I like it as a city car. Like, it's not bad. It's compliant, surprisingly, for what it is. And it rode a lot better in the city than the Cayman did. And I would almost say like it's somewhere in between the 330i and the Cayman. And I would be perfectly happy with the stock setup. I don't need anything more aggressive. I'm not planning to track it. I'm not going to do anything with it other than like use it as a fun commuter, basically. So, but yeah, so I keep going back and forth between like good low mileage ones, which command a little bit higher price, or getting a high mileage kept up one. Yeah. And those are the two cars that I'm down to right now. And here's what's frustrating. My history, like, I don't know what it is, but I can never ever find a good car that is a color. Yeah. Because both these cars that I'm considering right now, somehow they're both sort of a rare color. Like you never see them, but it's steel gray. And I already have a Meteor gray metallic 911, and I have essentially a gray wagon. It's green. It's Tasman green, but it looks gray. And I have a black Celsior. Yeah. And I just want a color. I would love this to be like Imola red or a shade of blue. Yeah. But no such luck. So gray is better than silver. Definitely better than black. Yeah. I don't like Alpine white, at least in this car. No. So I think it's going to be gray if one of these two cars works out. And one is literally down the street from me. Like, it's 5 minutes down the road. And it's the low mileage one that's been kept up, etc. And the other one's in Austin, which is not too far away. So,
yeah. I think having a perfect meticulous one is not super important since it's going to be sitting outside more, and you know what I mean. It'd almost be a shame to have like a really perfect one that's but also if you keep it for a year, that's like you're going to put like 4,000 miles on it, if that, or like 3,000, right?
That's what I put on the wagon in a year. So I bought it in August of last year, so a year and some change. I put about 4,000 miles on it.
So I'm not going to say like, oh, knock on wood, you're not going to have catastrophic failure. But I mean, I think the odds are you will not really incur issues if at the low rate that you're driving it. That's
the hope that I don't run into like this major maintenance interval.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And the only thing about the Austin one is that it's modded, and like the guy is so proud of his car. Like, he's so proud of the mods, like, and like he's selling me on how much other people love what he's done to it. But those are probably not like, that's not the crowd that I think I would necessarily take appreciation from.
Right.
I would take appreciation from the people who are like, wow, you kept this.
Wow, look how stock it is.
Yeah. That's my crowd. So it's got, HREs on it that are a little too big, and it's got an aggressive Sprint Sport exhaust. I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
I looked it up. I YouTubed it, and it's pretty aggressive. Definitely more aggressive than I'm looking for. But it comes with all the stock parts except for the wheels. But that's easily sourced. And I would get the 18s because the 18s look so good. And
yeah, they're just right.
It'd be perfect for the city too.
Yeah.
Or better for the city, I should say. So we'll see. And it has a gray interior, which I'm not excited about, but it's fine. I could live with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. And speaking of daily drivers, you are also looking for a daily driver, as we spoke, I think, in the last podcast.
I don't think we talked about it.
Maybe we didn't.
No, I don't think we did.
I don't know. But, and you've been going through quite the roller coaster ride of options as well.
It's terrible. So I have been without any daily driver for almost a month now.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
You have been dailying the SC.
Yeah, it sucks because it's filthy, and it's like, well, why wash it? Because then the next day I'll have to go somewhere and it'll be raining, because it rains like every day anyway. Yeah. So how is that returning that as a daily driver? Well, I mean, I don't drive a lot.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I do drive a lot, but I'm just driving around the neighborhood, like to the gym and back, and so I don't have to go. I don't have to commute to work. So it's been okay, and at least the weather's been cold instead of hot, so it's not like, it's not bad.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not been too bad.
Yeah, that's good. Because now you have heat, because you didn't have heat for a while.
I didn't have heat, but I replaced the heat exchangers and the whole exhaust.
Yeah.
And now I have heat.
Now
and
you have
it's
heat.
Very good.
Yeah, I love. It gets like pretty toasty, like in the Carrera.
Yeah.
I've never tried, like, it's so weird that it has like passenger and driver like heat. Mm-hmm. It's like it's dual zone climate kind of.
Yeah.
Except that with like mechanical levers between the seats.
It is so weird. Like I think the first time my dad rode with me, like I felt like I was a pilot, because I'm pulling on all these levers and controls that like he has no idea what they do.
Yeah.
It was, but on the drive last year, the drive to California, it was like I have this on my car. There's like a hose that goes across the fan, over the fan, and that's what tore. And I was like, oh, is this a big deal? And it's apparently just the heat. It's like the passenger side heat.
Oh,
that's all. So
interesting.
It didn't matter.
Okay.
So I never had that fixed because I was going to fix it myself, but of course on one side where it connects, you have to like remove the air conditioning.
Yeah.
like compressor. So I didn't fix it.
Yeah.
But I didn't need it, and then when I did the exhaust, they fixed that.
Okay, there you go. So now you're looking for a new daily driver.
Yeah,
and you're looking for a much more trouble-free.
Yeah,
and normal.
I have some strict rules.
Yeah,
my wife is very. She puts up with a lot with the 911. Yeah, and
she's very particular about this choice.
Yeah, so. I sold her on the idea of the LS400. I said, look, the Prius has been having so many problems. Like we spent like more than $1,000 in a month on just having it continue to run. And so I said, look, the Prius is costing us so much. It sucks. The third car has been good. Let's just get a better one.
Yeah.
And so the LS400, she was into that because I was like, look, they're super reliable.
She liked my Celsior.
She likes the Celsior. So that would have been good. And then I've come back to find that LS400s are, at least in Texas, it's harder to find good ones.
Yeah.
Like a good, like...
They get used up here.
Yeah, I think the climate and you know, a lot of them are on their like fourth owners now.
Yeah.
And any of them that have like less than 120,000 miles are going to be really valuable.
Yeah.
Like, you know, out of my price range.
It
I
is.
also have a low price range because I spent a lot on the 911.
Yeah.
So I have a very low budget for this. And I was very into the idea. So after I was looking at LS400s, we were talking about SC400s, which I was like, oh, it's a V8, very cool coupe.
Sports Coupe 400.
I actually test drove one locally. I was like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yep.
And Laura was like, you should not have a coupe. Like, you can't have a coupe. Like, we're going to do this third car. Like, it has to be practical because her little sister has a wheelchair. So it's like, we've got to be able to fit.
Yeah.
It's got to be a sedan that can fit this wheelchair.
Yeah.
Folded.
Yeah.
So coupe was out.
On the idea of coupe, I mean, because coupes can have big trunk.
Yeah.
And do not relate it to her because I don't want to get into trouble, but could her sister sit in the front seat instead of the back seat?
I don't really want to
get into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to get into that. Okay, so we're looking for a sedan.
We're looking
at a
for
minimum.
a sedan. Yeah, sedan or a wagon.
Okay.
And also, it can't be a prestige like BMW or Mercedes.
Because for some reason that translates to troublesome.
Laura has bad memories of BMWs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
She
it's just
does drive a Mini.
Yeah. So anyway, I was interested in a Mini until coupes were ruled out. I was very interested in the SC. I was interested in I mean, for a moment I was interested in the Infiniti FX35.
Yeah, so we were
SUV.
talking about
I still would like to
we have
drive
to asterisk this pretty hard because all Infinitis are trash, except this like golden era period where they produce some pretty interesting cars. I mean, that includes the 90s, but also like the first gen G35 was good.
Yeah.
And the FXs were actually really interesting. I would actually call those maybe the first SUV coupes because
I think so.
They're rakish.
I still think I should test drive one. I
think you should.
I haven't seen one local, but I should try one.
I know,
it's just that I just don't know if it's durable.
Yeah, I know in the higher mileage I hear people have issues, even though it's the same VQ that's in the 350 that you had. Mm-hmm. But higher mileage I hear like maybe here's the thing. Another asterisk, double asterisk. I feel like high mileage Infinitis are just not cared for, and so maybe that's why they have so many issues. Yeah. So I had actually it wasn't a VQ, but I had a boss once who, like when I was in my 20s, she had a QX4, the Pathfinder Infiniti, and I actually liked those. And one day she was driving with another coworker, and the engine seized while they were driving, and like the display showed I think maybe it has an oil gauge, I don't remember, but basically he asked like, when was the last time you got an oil change? And she said, oil change. And she like it had like 80,000 miles or something on it. Like, so they're robust enough to go pretty far without good oil. So there's that. Well, that's the V6 I think, but nevertheless, so that'd be cool.
It would be cool. I should look into that. My friend Dave that was on here a few months ago, he said that the ergonomics are bad and that he had it as a loaner and he didn't like it, but I still think I might like it. I don't know. Yeah.
I think you would like, because it's kind of it's not a CUV.
Right.
I mean, it is, but it isn't. Like, it's a sporty, tall wagon.
Yeah.
So
the styling looks like better today than
I think it does.
Ever has.
Yeah. And I think it now has come back round to non-aspirational because no one would buy one as that. It's just kind of a neat choice,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
And what color would you get if you could get the color of your choice?
The
It came in,
orange.
yeah,
The orange.
the orange or the bronze would be kind of cool.
Ooh, I don't remember bronze. I just remember like
Yeah.
15 grays.
I dated an architect who had a bronze one with a brown interior, which brown and brown, bold choice. I'm into it.
Oh, wait, when I said orange, maybe we were talking about the same color. The bronze
No,
and the
no, no,
orange.
no. I know you're talking about the orange, like it is
Oh,
orange.
okay,
no,
okay.
this one's bronze. It's like
Ooh,
a
okay.
copper color.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Anyways, and it actually, I think it came with like, normally I don't like 20-inch wheels, but I think
Yeah.
it came with 20-inch wheels, and somehow like it just creates this kind of futuristic, like steampunk
Yeah.
look to it.
Yeah.
But so that's one option, although that's not the top contender at the moment.
No, not quite. I also looked at in the same train of thought. I looked up briefly the M45.
Yeah, which
Because I think they look so
cool.
cool. But I tell you like what I found out about them. Is that,
No.
like, so it was the Nissan Gloria in Japan.
Yeah, the Gloria.
But it was never offered with the V8 in Japan.
Oh,
So
interesting.
that was only for the U.S. market, and we only got the V8.
Yeah.
In the M45.
Yeah.
And so it was a very unique installation, and it had its own set of like gauges.
Yeah.
And all of that didn't
Ah.
work so well.
Oh.
Like lots of people had lots of problems, and because it was such a niche
Yeah.
thing, like they didn't make a lot of these. They only made it
Oh,
for 2
interesting.
model years.
Oh, wow.
So it's like
This is like, it is such a cool looking car.
it's so cool.
So
The
we're talking about
M45
the
is
first.
so
We're
cool.
talking about the first gen because there's a second gen.
Yeah, the
too.
second one's a blob. It's a piece
Yeah.
of shit. But the first
First
one
gen.
is like this boxy, like
Yeah.
extremely Japanese looking luxury sedan.
Yeah,
And it's so good.
it's like retro futuristic looking,
Yeah.
cool, and it's so like I remember people when it came out at the time they said like it looks like a generic bank commercial car.
Yeah.
and it does in a good way,
In a
like an
totally
incredible
good
way.
way, yeah.
So that is like it looks like a JDM car that was
Yeah.
offered here,
It
basically.
is,
So
'cause it
and it
was,
is, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that
was a
a
contender.
thought.
That was a contender until I read about the history and
Yeah.
read some forums and saw the problems people had. Like I was finding posts from like 2010 where people were like, "Yeah, I've had like all these problems and stuff," and that was when they were only 7 years old or 6 years old.
Yeah, yeah. Like I wonder. So you also looked because we were considering like, and we're looking in the Japanese realm here pretty hard.
Yeah, and because Laura has approved of Lexus,
Yeah.
like I'm kind of
Blanket.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of like that's like a prestige brand I could sell
Yeah.
on, and also I don't know like,
Because we were talking about the IS 300 first gen IS.
yeah,
The Toyota Altelza.
I think the
Altelza.
wheelchair is not going to fit in the back, and I think the Sport Cross is too expensive.
Yeah, Sport Crosses command a premium now. I actually looked up.
I was looking at Sport Crosses today,
Yeah,
and any of them that are like,
they no less than $8,000 for one.
Yeah,
in like
or-
with 200,000 miles on it.
I mean, I found them for less than that, and there's a few in like one like that are like at 130,000 miles.
That's not bad.
But they're like at the very top of my price, and
Yeah.
they're in like the West Coast. So
yeah.
it's, you know what I mean. Like I could
Yeah.
if it was under value, like by a lot, I could.
Yeah.
This is with any car. You know, if it's under value, I could do a trip and get it. But if it's like pushing,
How about what if you just threw them an offer and see what happened? Like maybe they could be into it. Also, I feel like it's not gonna get like be valued. I bet you these cars will bottom out at $5,000. Like that you will always unless like it's
they've already
trashed.
have, and now they're going back up. I don't know.
No, exactly that. Like I mean, like the worst example is still like $5,000.
Yeah.
And it'll never be worth less than that.
Oh
So-
yeah, I see.
So you could drive it without regard, and if you hated it for some reason, like you could sell it and at least not lose out on the purchase price.
That's true. Yeah.
And I
Have it shipped.
have it shipped. Yeah, actually, you just have it shipped. Like get it PPI'd and have it shipped. I feel like I'm sure there are potential maintenance issues with one, but I can't imagine like it's not going to be anything catastrophic.
Well, for how many I see, this is all ISs,
Yeah.
but for how many I see that have 200
Yeah.
or 240,000 miles and
Yeah.
stuff, like, I don't know. I mean, they do seem pretty stout. It is a 2JZ,
It is,
and it's all Toyota stuff.
it was designed as a Toyota first before it was rebadged as a Lexus, and it looks cool. It looks good. The proportions are so good. And it's rear-wheel drive. I mean, the wagon's going to be, the Sport Cross is going to be auto only.
Yeah.
But you do get that space ball shifter, the chrome ball, and you get the gauges, which are pretty cool.
They're cool.
Yeah, I like this as an idea. Like, that's probably at the top of my list for you. Like,
Really?
As a
Sport Cross.
Sport Cross, yeah. Because I think you'll enjoy having it.
Well, and also when 3 series were swiftly and brutally ruled out for me, this is like a 3 series.
It's like a 3 series, but like in theory more reliable.
Yeah.
So yeah, like but a more interesting choice than a 3 series because it was rare. They made far fewer of them. I don't know what the production numbers were, but you don't see them. Although we did see 2 in one day.
Well, we see them at Catalina.
Yeah.
There's like 3 that come every week.
Yeah, that are heavily modified.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I back in 2008, before I got the BMW, the E90 330i, like maybe a year prior to that, I was looking at those and I remember I think I looked at one with 90,000 miles on it and they were asking like 85, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, seems expensive for this old thing. And then like now you'd be lucky to find you'd be lucky to find one with less than 100,000 miles, let alone
there's
85.
There's one in California that is that has like 85,000 miles and it's 11 grand.
Yeah. That would have been a good buy back in the day.
Yeah.
And
that one's silver. So if it was a color, it would be like way more.
Yeah. Oh man, like that is another like added list of ones that got away. Like I think that would have been an interesting car to have for a few years.
Yeah, for sure.
But I say that now. At that time in my life, like when I was looking for a wagon, basically. But yeah, so I vote IS300 Sport Cross. If you can find one and you're okay with it, and you probably do have to spend a little bit more than like an equivalent LS400 or an LS430, which I'm so glad that you opened your mind up to.
I'm not really open though. I hate the way they look, and it's not Radwood eligible, and it's not interesting at all.
You know what though? It is the most unoffensive car. Yeah, like there's just nothing offensive about it. That's what's so perfect about it, is that it almost embodies the original LS
So we're talking
concept.
about like the early 2000s LS430, which in the market is priced about the same as an LS400.
Yeah.
So I've gone back to looking at LS400s and looking at other ones, and the ones in Texas I'm not crazy about, but there was that green one in Florida that I liked.
That is pretty good. So that was
green.
a second gen 95, I think it was, and that was a good green. I like those. Those are just as robust, but they do. They're a little bit more finicky than the original one.
In what way?
Like it's an interference engine.
Wait, that wasn't a second gen. That was like an LCI.
No, the LCI looks exactly like the first gen, but with like different fascia and wheels.
When was the second gen?
Second gen was 95. So first gen was 89, rest of the world through 94. And the one that you sent me, I do recall, it was a 95 or 96, something like that. Mm-hmm. Because I think in 98 was the LCI of that. Okay. Pay no attention to how much knowledge I have of the LS400. Yeah. I know far too much. Mm-hmm. It's like this is pushing out important information in my brain. Like that time I took that home winemaking course and I forgot how to drive home. That was a Simpsons reference. I do not condone drinking and driving.
Okay.
Anyways, and you've looked at other things too. I like interesting choices would have been if they were still on the table.
Sure.
Like an R50. I don't know the designation.
R500.
No. The Mini.
Oh, the Mini. Yeah, I mentioned the Mini.
R54?
Yeah. Well, our friend Sergio says like the 06 Mini
05,
is super reliable.
Yeah. Basically like, tail end of the first gen.
Yeah. He's like, I know how to fix them. Like I tracked it. I've used them. Like they're good cars. They were good by that point. That was the last supercharged. And
Yeah.
our friend Pat, former guest,
Yeah.
his mother was selling one.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know what she was selling for, but it's very low miles.
Yeah. It's too bad, like, even though I have poo-pooed, I didn't poo-poo on it. I just like saying poo-poo, but I think a GTI would have been a really good, like, middle ground for you.
Well, as all these other stipulations are coming in,
Yeah.
it does seem like it'd be a good choice for being...
Because you need something that's normal.
Well, it'd be a
spacious,
hatch, spacious, and automatic.
automatic, and it's DSG, so decent double clutch transmission, and plaid seats, drives relatively well. Like, here's the thing: I had a GTI for like 6 months, and I didn't enjoy it because it wasn't the car that I was looking for.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, it was a fine car. Like, it had headliner issues, of course, and like, there is a catastrophic failure point, the chain tensioners, I believe it was, but all of those can be taken care of. Honestly, it's not a bad choice. Like,
Yeah.
it's an enthusiast choice. Like, it's a good car, and it's like, you'll have fun driving it, like, more than you would even a sport cross. But a sport cross is like a nice inline six rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, the Sport Cross is much more appealing.
Wagon,
and the Sport
basically.
Cross isn't going to give me like turbo issues and
Yeah.
DSG issues.
Yeah, yeah.
Which could both be really expensive.
Yeah. That's the thing. Isn't that weird? Because, like, by all means, I think the GTI is probably... it's a better driver's car, but the enthusiast choice is the IS Sport Cross, I feel like, because you get the sense of satisfaction, even if you don't directly feel it all the time, with that rear-wheel drive inline six like setup.
Okay, but
Yeah.
the other contender that has emerged
Yes.
is our friend Danny is bringing in
Yes.
a Celsior.
He's bringing in a
And
Celsior.
it's silver, which is
Silver?
decidedly not black.
It's not black. It's a good color.
It's a good color.
Because my Celsior is like black. It is
Yeah.
a non-metallic black that is so hard to keep clean.
And you have made efforts to make it even
Oh my
blacker by
God.
having it like perfectly
Paint
corrected
corrected,
and everything.
ceramic, and it's still like so much trouble. So you could potentially get another Celsior, which is a first gen LS400 right-hand drive. Wool
And
seats.
it would be so interesting. And this one has like 80,000 miles.
Yeah. Because if you like it,
If you found an 80,000 mile LS400,
Yeah.
it would be like 10 grand.
yeah. So this has the added element of being right-hand drive, which I know people will argue with me on this point, but it's fine.
Daniel.
Yes. But it is honestly fine. I switch back and forth between like my left-hand drive car and my right-hand drive car without even thinking about it anymore. On occasion, I will accidentally flip like the wiper when I mean to flip the signaler, but
Do you ever do it backwards, like in a normal car?
I do, and it only happens when I immediately switch back because my brain is still operating on the other side. But otherwise, like it is completely fine, and I don't really use drive-throughs. You don't really? Well, I don't
No.
know. Yeah, you don't
No.
really use. The one time I used a drive-through in this car, I was an ATM and I drove into it backwards because there was no one there, and of course someone pulled up, so I was on the wrong side facing them.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that'd be a really cool choice too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool. It'd be very interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be weird with both of us. I know, but it would be.
Yeah, we'd be
interesting.
those people.
We're already those people, but it'd be really interesting. And I go to a lot of car things, like often in my work and stuff, and it would
And
be a fun car
it's-
to arrive in.
It is a fun car to arrive in because like it's the most normal car in the world, but it draws so much attention. Like it is like weird. We went to a Cars and Coffee. No, you weren't there, but it was the Sid Mashburn one, which I think is happening this Saturday.
Is it?
By the way, I think so.
Are you gonna go?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but anyways, so you know, this was an event with like an F40, some new Ferraris, there was a 348 there. There was so interesting things. I pull up in the Celsior. The crowd flocks to this car because it's just like weird. It's just like it looks like your grandpa's like LS400, but like right-hand drive with like wool seats that recline and massage in the back. And people are into it.
Yeah.
So there are days though where like I'm just like I took it to work or something and I'm like having a bad day. I'm driving back and like people are looking and they're going to talk to you and you can't like roll up the window because it's not tinted. I refuse to have tinted windows. And there is that aspect of it, but otherwise, yeah, this is a good. And you get like cool. So the one that you're looking at is a Type B.
Yeah.
Type B or a Type C, which means that it's not the top of the line model, like the one that I have, which is an F spec.
Rub it in.
Yeah. But you do get ultrasonic mirrors, which means that in the rain or in the mist, if your mirrors get all dewy, you can push this and it will, like a Sonicare, flick off all the water.
Yes.
What else do you get? You get folding mirrors, which you didn't get in the U.S. market, which is actually, I find them to be very useful. And that is about it as far as just kind of like weird.
Wait, it has the parking thing.
Oh, you have a parking pole.
Yeah. Well, I don't have the car, but it has the parking pole.
It has a retractable parking pole in the left-hand corner of the bumper. And imagine having to service that. Oh. Like,
especially because I would use it all the time.
Yeah. Every single like U.S. market retractable antenna like has broken.
Yes.
Because someone forgets to put it down in a car wash or something.
Yeah.
So this would be the same thing. You forget to put it down and someone would break it off.
Yeah.
And you'll never be able to replace it.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Yep.
So I'm into it.
Okay.
All right.
Well, we'll see. It's arriving in 2 days, I think.
Okay, yeah,
so
and this
I'll
is
test drive it for sure.
This is
our friend Danny J Cars Import on
J Cars
Instagram.
Imports, and he always has like he has a driveway full of cool JDM cars.
That is an accurate way to put it.
It's literally it's his house.
We went. It was before the podcast.
Yeah, my
free
first time I ever drove because I was looking for a Celsior at the time, and I just wanted to look at what he had for sale, and he let me test drive his Toyota Soar, which is a U.S. market SC.
And it had the 1JZ.
Had the 1JZ, yeah, so 2.5 liter inline six turbocharged. And first time I ever drove.
Did you drive the Aristo, or did we? No, he just moved it out of the way. He was really selling the Aristo hard because it's like, oh, you want a Celsior? You should get an Aristo.
Yeah, and he was selling that pretty cheap too.
And then he let us sit in the cappuccino.
Yeah, you unfurled. Or you furled. I've heard of the opposite of unfurling is it was not built for you. Let us say.
What are you trying to say?
You're a man of largesse.
Oh God.
Which is not actually the correct use of that word. Anyways, the last time I was there, he had a Figaro. That was like it was just like tucked in the back, and I think he eventually sold it, but. It was just it was really well priced, and I really wish I knew someone who was in the market for a kind of like a kitschy retro.
I bet Laura would go
Nissan.
For that car.
Oh my god, that would have been so cool. Yeah, and yeah, he's had all sorts of. I was
looking at Figaros. Like there's like one place in where is it? Like Maryland or something. Not Japanese classics. There's another. Yeah,
Duncan Imports.
They have Figaros. It's so weird because I don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
And there's like ones that are priced at $36,000 and ones that are priced at $6,000, and they all look the same. And they have like dozens.
No, either. Yeah, like that's the market is all over the place for those things.
And one place. It's not like they're all different ones.
And he's been like featured on he's been featured on Jalopnik and a whole bunch of different outlets, but it's basically like a man's private collection.
Oh.
But he turned it into a dealership.
Oh, I see.
And it is a massive, like he will just have rows and rows of the same car. Like, I forget what it was that he had, that they featured in Jalopnik, where it was just, anyways. Yeah, they have him there. He has like a bunch of JDM hearses too, which is totally weird, but not weird that you would have. I mean, hearses are kind of interesting, but like, he has one. It's like I want to say the front half is a Toyota Crown, and the back half is like a classic, like Japanese. I don't know what they're called, but like the wooden, like a stereotypical like Japanese house structure, but attached to the back of a car. Like you've seen those like the trucks with like log cabins attached. It's like that, but
Ooh.
with Japanese architecture.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he has a
Cool.
weird thing.
Wow.
I saw Danny the other day, by the way, at pulling out of Whole Foods, and I was in the Celsior, and he was in his. I think he was in a Crown Majesta. Oh no, he was in a Cresta.
Oh.
Yeah, it's which is essentially, I think, a newer version of the Mark II. And he said you should consider that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but you should get the Celsior.
Wait, I like to imagine that you were leaving and he was, or whatever, and you both had this right-hand drive conversation window to window, like, oh, Kevin should get one of these.
Yeah, one of these too. Yeah, I see his wife goes there all the time, and so I always see. I've never run into her there, but I always see a right-hand drive car, like
that's
like
funny.
a Honda B1 or that Cresta or something else. But yeah, so that I would say I'll slot that parallel to the Sport Cross.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Because that would be nicer condition than any sport cross I could get.
true, and it'd be local.
It'd be local, which is very appealing.
Yeah, very much so. So you can actually
yeah.
drive it, which would be nice. Have you ever bought a? Oh yeah, you did buy a car sight unseen. You bought the 911
Yeah, but
sight
the
unseen.
911 sight unseen. And
Yeah.
then I went and saw the site. when
Yeah,
I went to Ohio.
Oh, that's right.
I
Yeah,
saw like where the listing photos were
2
taken.
years later, you went-
3.
3 years later, you went
Yeah.
and saw like where it was shot for the eBay listing, the vague eBay listing.
Yes.
Oh, I'm celebrating a year
Ooh.
with the Carrera.
All right.
Yeah. Even though does it count as a year? Even though
You haven't seen it in a
I haven't
month?
seen it in a month. It's been out of commission, unfortunately. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that
we
might be a good podcast.
I think so.
So-
well, it is a podcast.
It's a podcast. It's a podcast.
It's
Not
a
necessarily
podcast.
good. Yeah. So thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Do follow us on Instagram at
New for
new496 and email us or don't at
Yeah.
new496@gmail.com. All spelled out, right?
That's right. It's all spelled out.
Yeah.
They've got a link there.
Whatever. All right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.